Yo, 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 Rello Mellow Garden, and what's going on, my YouTube garden gang? Back here for start of another video, going into week 8 of flower now for our little 2x4 grow. We'll see if this ends up being their final week or if we give them one more. Of course, we got the pins doing the whole pH thing, waiting for them to give us a stable, accurate reading, waiting for it to go down. And we'll come on and here briefly. Need to close up my worm casket. But we'll be taking this. I'm gonna give a light dose of food to these plants in here. So, real good shape. Alright, we did a very light, probably like a half tablespoon, just of our little tomato liquid feed here. So I can see, give a little bit of nutrients. Plus it'll help bring back the microbial activity. Waiting for the pH to give us a little stable reading on one of these. Sometimes, of course, we got to average this out with the two of them. I have no clue right now which one is more accurate. Probably should just test my tap water because I know around the pH that should be. So whichever one of these pins were to be closer, tell me it's in the right area. But come take a peek in here. Say it's not the worst looking space for what we did end up doing. This is the ice cold crossed with Oreos right here. Not a bad looking bud. Kind of makes me think about pushing these on out to 63 or whatever, but still not certain with that. Some of these buds on this ice cold crossed with Oreos are starting to kind of bulking up, or densing up at least. A lot less squishy and givey, less sponge-like. This plant over here, the NFC crossed with Oreos, could use a little bit more of that densing up. Hopefully it'll get there. We're gonna call it a pH somewhere around a 6.2, 6.3. And we'll go ahead and get these watered in for today. I think we want to try to get just a little bit of runoff just to see if that pH is really back where we need it to be. If y'all remember last video, it looked like we were able to get the pH to be a bit stable within the medium. We got it back down to around a 6.5. So we'll see where this comes out to. Alright, y'all, I can't say 100%, but I think we might be somewhere around a 6.6 with the runoff. So it might actually still be a little high in the soil, but hey, at this point it's just gonna be what it is. So I think we might be a little better, decent, closer to being in range down there. It was sort of messing around, going up and downish a bit. But at least with neither pot did it immediately skyrocket into the 7s. So that's a good sign. But yeah, that's where we're at as far as that goes. Now I'm gonna get that water up. Alrighty, and this pretty much for the most part wraps up day 51 here for these girls. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get out of here for them. Yo, yo, yo. We's back down here. And it is now day 56 of flower in this good old 2x4 tent. Of course, we've got our water bubbling. They do need to be watered today, so we're gonna pH down that, and might as well just hop right on in here. Now, as y'all know, I was debating whether I wanted to chop these down today and just get them out the way, but we're not even exactly ready to grab our girls out of the vegetative space just yet. So I guess we're gonna let them rot out till like day 63, so they've got one more week. Can still see some white hairs showing they're still doing some growing. Probably some good amount of ripening to do as well. I haven't really been on top of checking the trichomes with this, or with both of these plants, because you know, the little mess ups we did and whatnot. But suppose we can see if we can get a look at them. And just looking at this small glance here, nothing we see here would indicate that we want to chop this down right now. Looks like there's a lot of clear trichomes in there. Maybe some cloudy, but we don't even see any amber at all. See if we can get up on a different nug. See a little bit of amber on that sugar leaf there, but you mainly want to pay attention to the buds. Yeah, I think this one at least definitely still has some ripening up to do. Got a little glimpse here at this ice cold crossed with Oreos. Seems to be much of the same. A lot of ripening that still needs to be done. So yeah, I guess we'll just see where they are by next week. I know with the whole messing up of the pH, obviously was going to slow down bud production and development, so maybe that also counts for the ripening of the trichomes as well. I don't know, but hopefully these are at least nice and ripened come next week, because I'm probably am going to want to definitely have them chopped down by day 63-ish. So we'll see. This one seems to have a lot more recessed white hairs, a lot more orange than what we see over here. But yeah, I do want to get these out of here. I think I want to actually get some new seeds started. We have a Track Queen crossed with Grease Monkey, and that's by Dirty Bird Genetics. And I really want to see what that's going to do. So I guess the sooner this space is available, the better. Or maybe we'll have some clones of these we could run, maybe. It all depends. We'll just have to see what the future holds for us. But man, this NF Sheesh crossed with Oreos is still a fairly beautiful plant. Would have been even more so without the mistakes. So I really would like to grow her again, but we do only have one seed of this left. And I did accidentally kill some of the earlier clones that I took off of her, but we do have some more brewing up. Down over here, well under this canopy, because I think that light intensity might be slightly high for them. It's at 60-ish%. Although I don't know if this is too much shade. I know seedlings clones, whatever, usually only need like 10 to 20% of a light.
We are hoping to get some roots out of these in the next couple weeks. We'll have to see, because like I said, I really want to grow out that NF Sheesh crossed with Oreos again. We could do so much better with it. And it is a very beautiful plant. No clue what it smokes like. And we won't get a true experience of it this time around anyways. So yeah, definitely gotta try to grow this again. 1 seed left. 2 potential cloning opportunities. Just look at that. It's a fairly pretty plant. Look at this here. So yeah, definitely want to try to grow that out again. Hopefully we get to. This week's video won't be too long. It's not much going on. Just waiting for some ripening up to happen. Like I said, I think pretty much regardless of where they're at, by 63 we're chopping them down, getting them on out of here. Alrighty, now we're back over here at the watering station. pH averaged out to around a 6.5 for what we got in here. I'll use this more bloom to take down the pH with the little dropper here. But I also did add like a 1/4 cap worth of this Espoma tomato fertilizer here. And we added about a tablespoon of molasses to this water. And I usually don't feed my plants anything around the last 2 weeks. We're in about the last week here. So this is not typical behavior for me and what I usually do when I grow. But we, again, flush so many, however many, 7 to 9 gallons of water through both of those pots. We had messed up the pH, which a shock to the pH can kill off microbes. Plants were some big girls, so I imagine that soil's fairly depleted. I don't know how much benefit we'll get out of this last week feeding. I did use a little bit of that Espoma stuff there, I think sometime just last week as well, which is more a higher frequency than it suggests. It says every 2 to 4 weeks, but hey, we're already at this point. So grab these here, and we are going to use some of this water on the plants that are still in veg. We want to try to get at least a tiny bit of runoff from these. I'm curious as to whether the soil has truly returned to a reasonable pH or if it's still alkaline in there. So this water went in at a 6.5. If it comes out above a 6.5, then we know it's still kind of alkaline leaning, or at least basic in there. If it comes out below, then it was a little more acidic. If it comes out the same, then it was probably roughly a 6.5 in here. I did want to get a runoff reading from the girls in veg as well. So hopefully we ain't got to use too much water to get a decent amount of runoff. I can see some starting to pull up now. It might do it for us. Might have to finagle it a little bit. I think I'll go with just a little bit more. Yeah, that's probably not going to be enough to now get runoff from those, so we'll have to figure that out. But yeah. All right, no, it seems like we did truly fix the soil. Obviously way too late, but pretty much stayed the same. This is about a 6.5. This one might be a 6.6, 6.7-ish, which it does hold slightly more water than this, so maybe the flush just wasn't as thorough for it, but it's basically the same thing. So at least now we know they are in a range where they can reasonably uptake the food that we did give them. And yeah, we will just see how they do. This is actually a fairly decent top nug right here. This branch in particular had some fairly good stacking on it. But yeah, I'm gonna toss the rest of this, and think I might have some separate water somewhere to help me get a runoff reading. But as far as our 2x4 grow, I think this pretty much wraps up the video. And as you know, if you found this video entertaining or helpful at all, it'd be greatly appreciated. If you drop a like on the channel, helps us out. If you made it this far in the video, I definitely appreciate you. Trying to get my watch time up, and it greatly helps the channel. If you want to see how these finish out, or what we end up doing with those, more tips and tricks, maybe learn some don'ts by watching my mess ups. Of course, we got our outdoor grow going. Subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications. You'll be updated whenever we drop. Don't forget to check out our secondary channel, Mellow Rello Grows. On this main channel, it's long form videos. We'll update this one every week. We'll update those every week. Our outdoors every 2 weeks. But on Mellow Rello Grows, our second channel, it's shorts, kind of daily content on there. See different stuff going on. Other than that, shout out to everybody that's been rocking with your boy. And we got another installment in Rello Mellow Garden here.